Welcome to another episode of What's New in Beauty. My name is Nia Lee, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. Of course, this is the series where we talk all the new exciting things happening in the beauty industry and just anything in beauty I'm just very interested in talking about. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it because we always have such a jam-packed show. And of course, make sure that we continue this conversation outwards as well, whether you're listening to the podcast, whether you're watching the live. I just want everybody to be engaged with everything that I am talking about. And of course, if you have any insights, of course, please do share, whether again, like I said, you're messaging me here in the live, or of course, when I post the actual video of this. Let's continue the conversation. So right off the jump, I'm really excited to talk about this awesome brand. If you guys haven't heard of Cheekbone Beauty, they are pretty much like, at least from my knowledge, a very just like outward and very just like proud indigenous made, owned, manufactured brand. And the founder, Jennifer Harper, actually started up the company back in 2016. And I don't know if anybody had heard about Cheekbone Beauty prior to this, but I actually found out about them via Dragon's Den, which if you don't know, Dragon's Den is essentially like the Canadian version of Shark Tank, even though Dragon's Den has been around longer than Shark Tank. And essentially the biggest news about this brand is that they've officially launched in Sephora Canada, which is super exciting to see. If you've been checking out their Instagram, checking out how they've been pretty much documenting this entire process, it's been very dope to see. And as well, they wanted to have new packaging and new products in tow. So like I said, the indigenous owned brand that started up back in 2016 by Jennifer Harper is now offering a curated assortment of its beloved Sustain collection, including 2 new products, a mascara and a blush bronzer duo. And like I said, it's going to be available on Sephora Canada online. Don't know if they're going to have in store as of yet, but it'll be very exciting to see how that goes. I know they typically like to do the online thing and then eventually they'll do the in-store. But again, this is really dope because the founder, she said that she, joining their incredible platform, Sephora's incredible platform, allows us to further amplify our mission to create spaces of representation within the beauty industry for indigenous youth. And I'm just really excited, one, because that statement, like if you look at Cheekbone Beauty, everything that they do is essentially about that. Like you can tell that everything that they do for the brand is about really inspiring and really creating a lane to show indigenous youth, even just elders in the indigenous community, that hey, everything is possible, right? Like this is a brand, like I said, that from the very beginning never wavered, never said that we were going to commercialize ourselves to fit into any sort of box. Like they were proud, they are a proud indigenous, like I said, owned and made and operated brand. So like I said, just very dope to see them have the opportunity now to be in Sephora Canada. And sustainability is inherently embedded in indigenous cultures, and Cheekbone Beauty, again, partnered with creative business ally Sid Lee to help elevate their vision to ensure balance between human beings and nature for future generations. And the new branding and packaging design, inspired by the vibrant colors found in nature, is the first element of their collaboration. So very dope to see them collaborate with Sid Lee. Sid Lee is probably like a well-known, if you guys haven't seen them, definitely check them out. They're like a well-known kind of design and branding agency, and they've done some really awesome work here as well. And so the Sustain collection, like I said, comes with new products. So a vegan mascara at $32, a sheer talc-free blush bronzer duo at $24. They've also got eyeliner, an eyeshadow pencil, lip gloss, lipstick. And if you actually go on Cheekbone Beauty's Instagram, you can actually, I think they still have the filter where you can actually try out the lipstick so that you can see what they look like on you before you actually go out and buy them, which I think is totally genius. And I personally, like I said, when I was seeing this, I felt super inspired, loved the rollout, love how Cheekbone Beauty really brought their community into the whole idea that, hey, we are launching in Sephora, and this is not just us launching in Sephora and letting it go by. Like, no, we are letting you into everything that we're doing. So again, check out their page, check out their graphics, check out everything they've been doing. Everything has been so intentional for the lead up of this official launch. And so I love to kind of see it all come together that way. But my biggest kind of I don't want to say my biggest pet peeve, but my thing with something like this, where it's such a huge, huge launch, especially for Cheekbone, especially with like everything that's just happening in Canada with Indigenous lives just as a whole, I wish there just would have been a bigger rollout. Like, I wish that, we could see it more on the homepage, even on the socials. Kind of felt like Sephora, like they did a video, they did a post where they showed, hey, Cheekbone Beauty is going to be here. And then they had somebody who I believe was one of the reps of Sephora kind of do like a full face tutorial using the products from the Sustain collection. And although that's awesome and that's great, I would have just hoped for something else. I would have hoped for a little bit more fanfare. Typically on the Sephora US page, anytime a new brand launches in Sephora, they have a particular rep that actually does like these videos with the founders, which I love to see. And so I don't know if they're going to adopt that in Canada as of yet, but I would love to have seen that. Really love to see that kind of fanfare, especially with a situation like that. And hey, appreciate everybody for coming through. But yeah, I'm just really more so excited to see where this kind of takes Cheekbone Beauty, especially because this is a really big monumental moment for like I said, an Indigenous owned brand, founded brand as well too, especially because they have been doing what they've been doing for so long, since 2016. And so I'm just really excited. It feels to me that history has been made, essentially, again, because of the whole Dragon's Den situation. And what I will say in a situation like that, if you are a beauty brand and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I don't really know what it is that I'm necessarily doing, or maybe I don't necessarily know where I want to be. Like, I'm sure when Cheekbone Beauty sought out to create their brand, maybe Sephora was on their radar or maybe not. But when you get on a situation like a Dragon's Den or a Shark Tank, where you really have the opportunity, maybe if you don't get an investment, but you still get the publicity, you still get the notoriety, you can still say you were on the platform, for one. And two, I will talk about this in a next topic, because it seems to be like an indie topic, indie brand, indie topic thing that we're all talking about today. But, again, with Cheekbone Beauty, they are kind of sort of considered an indie brand. And I've been noticing more and more and more, and you guys have heard this through other episodes, that all these big retailers, the Ultas, the Sephoras, the Kohl's, you name it, like they are all leaning into indie beauty brands. Like, I'm not even saying that you could have been around for about a couple years. And like, if you have the following, if you have the great products, if you have, again, the opportunity to be in a space where you can pitch your brand, like that is essentially what these bigger brands are kind of looking for nowadays. And so if you're, again, one of those indie brands or a small beauty brand right now thinking, I don't know where it is that I really want to be, I'm telling you, these big, retailers want you. That's all I'm pretty much going to say. And they're not even necessarily wanting like the celebrity brands. Like, although I'm going to talk about a celebrity brand collaboration today, they really want the indie brands, the brands that have, again, like I said, been on Instagram, going viral on TikTok. They're looking for these type of brands all the time. And so at the end of the day, if you are a small beauty brand or an indie brand, really kind of look to see how you can kind of, again, really just like amplify yourself as much as possible with all the channels that you have. If you have the opportunity to get on a Dragon's Den or a Shark Tank, or you have the opportunity to just like utilize whatever you can to just like get, to just be top of mind, you could have the opportunity of being at a Sephora or an Ulta or wherever it is that you want to go. Because like I said, a lot of these bigger retailers are leaning into smaller beauty brands. So shout out to Cheekbone Beauty. Congrats to Cheekbone Beauty, because that is an honor. I'm telling you, Sephora's not playing around. Like, you guys have been, I've been talking about this more and more and more, that Sephora has really just been leaning into the indie brands. They've been also leaning into the influencer brands as well too. And so this is just really dope to see. And once again, congrats to Cheekbone Beauty for getting in Sephora Canada, and hopefully they'll be in stores soon. So getting into the next topic, and again, this kind of coincides with the whole kind of indie brand conversation, but it was, shown in a Forbes article that I was reading, that Walmart, big conglomerate Walmart, is now looking to stock more indie and POC-owned brands. And it was actually interesting because I noticed that Walmart was leaning in this direction, and this is when they actually chose to launch Oma by Sharon C., who is the founder of Oma Beauty, in Sephora. And I remember when they decided to launch that, and the fact that it was in like over 3,000 stores, and they made a really big deal about it, and it was like, reasonably affordable. I just knew that something was going to change. And this article that just, again, came out a few days ago pretty much proved it. And so like I said in this Forbes article, it was said that Walmart's merchandising VP of omnichannel beauty, Muzab, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but I believe it is Muzab Balbail. And he said that they are looking to reinvent Walmart's beauty business one brand at a time, as more than 40 new brands have been included with an emphasis of indie brands and brands owned by people of color. So once again, just reiterating what I just said literally like 5 seconds ago, if you are an indie brand, if you are a brand that is, you're a person of color and you own a beauty brand and you're just trying to make your way, this is your time, because huge conglomerate, like I said, like Walmart is looking for you, which is insane. And so again, Balbail has a mandate to innovate and bring relevance to the aisles of the world's largest store, which means turning beauty departments into destinations for Walmart shoppers who come for groceries but leave with a new lipstick or skincare regime. So this is really exciting for so many different reasons. And it just goes to show you at the end of the day that beauty is definitely a focus for a lot of these department and retail stores at the end of the day. Like they know, again, with like even like Target, right? It's the same kind of Ulta Target sponsorship partnership situation that they had like a few months ago that everybody went crazy over. It just goes to show you that these brands understand that they really need to be ahead of the simple fact that a lot of people now are wanting to get into beauty or wanting to kind of look their best whenever they go places. And so again, Balbail says the pandemic has changed things. Beauty certainly was one of the first categories we saw come back. Really great to know. After the initial shutdown, people were focused on their appearance, whether it was teeth whiteners or lipstick. Beauty can be a small indulgence. And so I can definitely attest to that as well too. I mean, not gonna hold y'all, like I was still buying lipstick and still like buying foundation and all that kind of stuff, even in the pandemic, even though I got to wear a mask. But at the exact same time, like here you have a VP of merchandising in the beauty section in Walmart telling you like, hey, this is something that we've noticed. And on top of that, we want to focus more on those indie POC brands, not necessarily, we have a mandate for it, but at the end of the day, they mentioned here that, when it comes to how it is that they're trying to find the right brands, like with the oldest Gen Z customers now 24, Walmart Beauty now recognizes that there is an incredible opportunity to build brand loyalty, focus on inclusivity and equality by delivering products they're looking for. According to Kyra Media's 2020 State of Beauty report, skincare is by far the most important segment for Gen Z within the beauty category. So all my skincare brands, I'm just reiterating to you again that the time for you is now, because Gen Z cares about skincare more than anybody I know. They're really into the ingredients. They're really into the videos. They're really into texture. They want to see everything up close. And so this is a report essentially telling you that. And this is also a huge company like Walmart telling you that we recognize that Gen Z is buying things. So we want to make sure that we are actually putting products out there for them so that they actually care for it, or try to see if we can even create brands that are going to be appealing to Gen Z. But again, to create a brand, it's a lot of time and a lot of effort. So, Walmart doesn't necessarily have all the time to do that when there's already an indie brand that already has such a great following, such a great community that they can now just have in their store. And it's a win-win at the end of the day. It's a win-win for the small brand because you're in Walmart. You know what I mean? Like that's such a huge thing, whether you're online or in store, that's a huge thing. And then on top of that, for Walmart, it's great for them because they don't got to they don't got to do anything new. All they got to do is just acquire these companies. And trust me, they have the money to do so. And so some of the new brands included are C'est Moi, Dermageek, Next of Us, Erase Your Face, Evolution 18, May Apothecary, Skin Proud, True Skin, along with, like I said, Uma by Sharon C, that again launched this past July. And I spoke about this on an episode of What's New in Beauty in July. And this was actually, again, like I said, really dope because the collection was actually available at more than 3,000 Walmart stores. And this was really exciting more so than anything because it builds that kind of loyalty at the end of the day. It's like, again, your brand getting into a Target or an Ulta. If your brand is in one of those places, people know to trust you. You know what I mean? They believe that, you have your best interest in heart in terms of like having your product be accessible to everybody. Because again, the situation with a lot of these indie brands is that not a lot of people can get them because maybe they're only on a website or maybe they're only shipping out to a certain place. But for someone like myself who's in Canada, I have the opportunity now to shop for these places, and I don't only have to be secluded to a website or paying duties or paying conversions in some sort of way that doesn't make me excited to shop anymore. So this is actually super, super dope to actually see it come to fruition and come together. And last but not least, Balbale actually says that the challenge in beauty is how do we bring her, essentially any shopper who they're essentially looking for, from other areas of the store, right? We know that she's shopping grocery on a weekly basis. Increasingly, she's looking at fashion and home in areas where Walmart is making strides. The mission now is to make it simpler to buy what she's pretty much buying in the beauty space, and also give her things to discover on a weekly shopping trip. So personally, for me, I don't think Walmart's going to have I don't think they're going to have a hard time doing that. But I think they really need to also understand at the end of the day that it's not just women who are interested in this beauty world. It pretty much is everybody. And so you got to understand that you can't just come from such a linear lens. Like even them just saying her, right? Maybe there is a huge amount of women that are buying beauty from Walmart, right? What do I know? But what I really just want them to stress more than anything is that, again, it is people. Well, actually, this is what I'll also say. If they're thinking that people are shopping for groceries on a weekly basis, right? I would love to personally know, is it Gen Z that is shopping at Walmart for a weekly basis? Or is it for a woman who's between, maybe her mid-20s to maybe her mid-30s, or maybe a little bit older? Like, I would love to know exactly what that is, because if you're trying to create more Gen Z brands or trying to add in more Gen Z brands, it's like, okay, but Gen Z is not really shopping at Walmart for groceries, right? At least from my own perspective. Y'all can let me know in the States if that's something that you're typically doing, or maybe you're going somewhere a little bit cheaper. I know something like Ulta, for example, or again, Target, the girls and guys always be going to that place, and they want to pick up one thing and then they leave with like thousands of things. And then they go on YouTube and do like Target and Ulta hauls, which is like really kind of dope to see. But at the end of the day, I'm just really interested to know who is actually shopping at Walmart, because if it's not Gen Z, then it's going to be hard to kind of get Gen Z interested in actually shopping beauty. Or you'll have certain YouTubers who I've seen in the past who will do sponsorships with Walmart, for example, to kind of talk about a brand. I still think that will work at the end of the day, but I'll be interested to kind of see how they kind of make that transition a little bit, because Walmart is still so family oriented and it has a particular style. And so that's just what I'm really interested to kind of see all come together. And last but not least, super excited to talk about this collab. And I know y'all are probably tired of me talking about celebrity collabs and beauty brands and all that, but I was very excited to see this come to fruition, and I actually thought it made sense. And this is all about LA-based indie beauty brand BH Cosmetics collaborating with DojaCat for her first ever beauty collection collab situation. And they made it very clear that this is Doja Cat's first ever beauty collection. Like, put some respect on our name. We did it first. And I was actually really excited to see this as well too, because BH Cosmetics, again, one of those brands that have been around for so long, and they're such an affordable brand. Like, if any of y'all have tried out BH, definitely let me know, but it's definitely one of those brands that can kind of fly under the radar a little bit, which is why I think they still call themselves an indie brand. But they're definitely one of those brands at the end of the day that they stay in their lane. Like, BH Cosmetics stays in its affordable lane. They've got decent products as well too. I would always try out their products as well when I go to like the hair store, but obviously I don't have hair anymore, so there's no really reason for me to go to the hair store and try out BH. But this collaboration with Doja Cat is honestly coming right in time. I mean, hot off her VMAs hosting gig, this is kind of like the next big thing for her. And you can actually get the collection on their website, and it will actually launch in Ulta Beauty on October 3rd, which I think will probably make more of an exciting kind of splash, because again, the girls and the guys love Ulta. So I cannot wait to see that come together. The collection is a mystical journey of discovery, and it is full of sumptuous textures, high impact colors, and electrifying metallics. This is essentially what BH kind of says about the collection. The CEO of BH Cosmetics says that Doja is a true creative genius. I have to agree on that. She is really a badass at heart and was such a pleasure to embark on this epic adventure to make these concepts a reality. This was truly an authentic collaboration from start to finish. So that actually makes me really excited to hear that at the end of the day, this was a collaboration that didn't just come out of, them having like 2 or 3 meetings and then like all of a sudden. It was really great to kind of see, or even just hear that this was authentic from the jump, right? And when you kind of look at Doja, as much as she's such a big deal now, you do kind of sense that she just doesn't do things for the money. I don't know. Maybe her Pepsi ads could maybe tell a different story, but not to say that the Pepsi check wasn't big, but all I'm just really trying to say is, especially when it comes to makeup, really dope to see that it was authentic and, that it was pretty much a creative journey from the jump. Doja says that this collaboration is such a full circle moment for her as she grew up doodling in school and always had an artistic eye. So naturally experimenting with makeup was a huge part of her life as a teenager. And again, it was also important for her to create multifunctional products and tools and she would be able to actually have in her own makeup bag. And she also wanted to pay homage to the vibrant, edgy colors that define her most memorable beauty moments, which, if you see the collection, very vibrant, very beautiful, giving also like earthy and definitely like this mystical journey of discovery that I'm getting. It kind of makes me feel like SZA's Good Day album a little bit, or not the album, the song and the music video, how it's kind of fantastical a little bit and it really leans into nature. So I love kind of seeing that all together. Love seeing that it's also multifunctional as well. I just think as a brand, you should be making multifunctional products. We're in 2021. The girls don't have time to be having 10 to 20 different products to put on a full face, especially because we're wearing the mask. We ain't got no time for a whole bunch of things. So as much as we can get out of each product, each tool, the better. So that's me telling again to the public that multifunctional and multi-purposeful products are the wave. And as well, the collection comes with a 36 color shadow palette, which has really good swatches, by the way, and the girls are really excited about that. A mini shadow quad, powder blush trio, loose powder highlight, mascara, calligraphy eyeliner, 10-piece brush set with a bag, hand mirror, lip balm, and plumping lip gloss. So Doja really came through for the girls and this collaboration. And again, the products range between $11 and $36, which is awesome. Again, shout out to BH Cosmetics for always pretty much being affordable. And like I said, the imagery is stunning, like how they've been able to put this together. Like I just thought the imagery was absolutely stunning and beautiful. I also thought as well too that I wish I had kind of seen a little bit more like videos a little bit from the collaboration, maybe even like Doja using the product in real time, maybe even her and BH Cosmetics going live to maybe talk about the collaboration. Obviously, I know she's a busy woman, you know what I mean? But I just wish I would have seen that, you know what I mean? That could have just been a little bit of a different vibe coming from a collaboration like this, because when it comes to the celebrity collaborations, like people always think it's a cash grab, right? Like I even had one of y'all like hit me and be like, listen, Doja, why? And I'm like, listen, the girls got to get their coins. But what I will say is at the end of the day, I just wish we could have seen a tutorial at least, or like something in real time, maybe the collection. I don't know. Maybe some videos are coming up. This collaboration, they announced it like I think almost less than a week ago. So I was very excited to see it all come together. And I hope to see, not the beautiful photography images that are retouched and all that. Like I want to see Doja on live use a collection. You know what I mean? Or I want to see her go live with BH Cosmetics to actually use it in real time so we can actually see how it all pans out, because that's going to be the main difference between her collab and even BH as a company as well too, because like I said, BH has been around for such a long time, but they very much fly under the radar. They're not problematic whatsoever, and they, like I said, they stay in their lane when it comes to the beauty products that they put out, the collaborations they put out as well too. So I would hope to see a little bit more visuals in terms of videos, even with a BH cosmetic rep, or maybe even like an influencer that wants to partner to do something with Doja. I don't know, something just very dope and exciting to see. And this is just one of the ways that you can kind of let your brand stand out, especially when you are doing a collaboration with a celebrity as huge as DojaCat, who goes on Instagram live a lot already. I would love to kind of see this come together. And so all of that to say, congrats to BH. congrats to Doja, congrats to Cheekbone Beauty. Shout out to Walmart for understanding the assignment about indie brands and POC-owned brands, because it's about freaking time. And without further ado, y'all, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to What's New in Beauty. As always, tune into the replay, tune into the podcast as well too. And I will catch you guys for another episode, not next week, but most likely the week after. All right. Take care, guys.